Have you ever felt a shadow within yourself? A part of your soul that seems hidden, mysterious, or even feared? What if I told you that this inner darkness is not evil, but a source of immense hidden power that the Gnostics understood centuries ago, yet which has been deliberately concealed from the world? Imagine a light so profound that it shines from the very depths of your being, yet it appears as a black sun, a paradox that challenges everything you have been taught about light, darkness, good, and evil. The truth is, most of us have been led to believe that darkness within is something to suppress or deny, something dangerous. But what if this darkness is the key to awakening the soul and accessing knowledge the world has tried to bury? Ancient Gnostic texts speak of the inner sun and the transformative power it holds, often hidden behind allegories and symbols. The black sun is not simply a celestial image. It represents the unrecognized, dormant energy within each human being, the potential to transcend ordinary existence and glimpse the divine. As you watch this video, I invite you to question what you have always believed. Could it be that the true power of the soul lies precisely in the aspects we have been told to fear? Could the shadow inside us be a guide, not a threat? Today, we will uncover the teachings the Gnostics guarded for centuries, showing how the black sun is not a symbol of evil, but the secret spark of awakening hidden within your own heart. Before we dive deeper, make sure to subscribe to the channel. By doing so, you will join a community of seekers, uncovering hidden truths that have been kept from humanity for millennia, and keeping alive the knowledge that transforms ordinary life into spiritual revelation. For thousands of years, humanity has been taught to fear the darkness within. Many religious systems have described certain aspects of the soul, the unknown impulses, or the inner void, as evil, corrupt, or dangerous. But the Gnostics saw the world differently. They understood that the universe is not merely a duality of light and darkness, good and evil, but a complex interplay where what is hidden can hold the greatest truth. Among their most secret teachings was the concept of the black sun, a symbol of the hidden power of the soul, the energy that lies dormant beneath fear, shame, and societal conditioning. Historical texts, some of them fragmented and deliberately obscured, reveal that the Gnostics believed each person carries within themselves a spark of divine light. This spark, however, is often veiled by layers of ignorance, illusions imposed by worldly powers, and the dominance of the demiurge, the creator of the material world, who limits spiritual awakening. The black sun, paradoxically, represents both concealment and revelation. It is darkness in form, yet it shines with the potential of transformation. Some scholars argue that Gnostic sects used this symbol to communicate the profound idea that the soul's deepest powers cannot be understood through surface appearances or simple morality. What appears dark, dangerous, or hidden is, in reality, the very source of liberation and knowledge. Archaeological discoveries in Egypt, Greece, and the Middle East have revealed Gnostic manuscripts, codices, and inscriptions that describe the journey of the soul not as a straight path toward the light, but as a descent into one's inner realms. The Gospel of Thomas and the Apocryphon of John contain verses emphasizing the necessity of self-knowledge, the recognition of hidden truths, and the awakening of what is concealed within. The black sun, as the Gnostics portrayed it, is the heart of this inner exploration. It is where divine knowledge resides, untouched by the corrupt forces of the physical world. And while these teachings were often ridiculed, hidden, or destroyed by orthodox institutions, fragments survived, carefully passed down to those who sought gnosis, true knowledge. Symbols were central to this secret wisdom. The sun, the moon, celestial eclipses, and even the concept of shadows were used to describe stages of awakening. To the Gnostics, light and darkness are not enemies. They are complementary forces. Just as the sun can be hidden behind clouds but still radiates energy, the soul's black sun can remain unseen yet contain immeasurable spiritual power. This inner power is not about sin or moral failing. It is the raw, untapped energy of awareness, intuition, and transcendence. Those who recognized it learned to face their inner darkness, to embrace rather than reject it, and in doing so, unlock a consciousness that transcends ordinary human perception. Even today, the echoes of these teachings remain relevant. Modern seekers, mystics, and even scientists exploring consciousness are beginning to understand the inner shadow's repressed emotions, hidden fears, and unconscious impulses are not obstacles, but doors. The Gnostics understood that true transformation requires descending into these inner realms, encountering the black sun, and integrating its power into the conscious self. This knowledge changes everything we thought we knew about morality, the soul, and spiritual growth. It suggests that enlightenment is not a matter of chasing only the light, but of embracing the hidden, the misunderstood, the unseen. Reflect for a moment. What parts of your own soul have you feared or denied? Could it be that these very aspects contain the keys to awakening, hidden knowledge, and personal liberation? The Gnostics believed that those who dared to confront and understand their inner darkness would not only gain insight, but also align themselves with the eternal spark of divine wisdom that the world has tried to obscure for centuries. For centuries, the knowledge of the black sun was never meant to be common. The Gnostics understood that the true power of the soul is not granted to everyone by default. It is something earned through inner exploration, reflection, and the courage to face what society and orthodox teachings deem forbidden. But as the Gnostic sects flourished in the early centuries, powerful forces began to systematically suppress their knowledge. The Church, consolidating authority and codifying spiritual doctrine, sought to control what humans were allowed to know about the soul, about the universe, and about the hidden energies within themselves. Documents and fragments from the Nag Hammadi library and other ancient texts suggest that the Church feared teachings that empowered the individual. If ordinary humans realized that their inner darkness, the black sun, was not evil, but a source of spiritual liberation, the control structures of religious hierarchies would weaken. Symbols of the black sun, eclipses, or inner illumination were either destroyed or reinterpreted to fit a moral narrative that discouraged self-discovery. What was once celebrated as the awakening of the inner spark became a story of sin, temptation, and danger. Some scholars believe this deliberate distortion was designed to prevent humans from accessing their own divine potential, keeping the soul in fear rather than enlightenment. The Gnostics spoke often of the demiurge, the flawed creator of the material world, who enforces illusions and limitations. In practical terms, these illusions were reinforced by religious dogma, cultural norms, and the manipulation of fear. Those who dared to explore their inner darkness were often labeled heretics, excommunicated, or persecuted. Yet even under threat, the most devoted Gnostic teachers preserved fragments of these teachings, often encoded in myths, parables, or symbolic artwork. The black sun became both a metaphor and a guide, a light within the shadow, a force hidden in plain sight. Those who understood it could perceive the divine essence behind appearances, while the uninitiated continued to equate darkness with evil. The historical suppression of these truths did not end in antiquity. Throughout the Middle Ages, esoteric manuscripts were hidden in monasteries, destroyed or rewritten to eliminate references to inner power. Only in rare cases did seekers find copies, often passing them secretly from master to student. The Gnostics believed that the soul's inner power could not be mass-taught. It is experiential, something discovered through personal confrontation with one's inner shadows. They understood that only those who journeyed into their own darkness, who faced fear, doubt, and despair, could awaken the black sun and unlock its hidden potential. Even today, the remnants of this suppression can be felt. Our modern world often teaches us to deny the uncomfortable parts of ourselves, to label them as wrong, weak, or immoral. Yet the Gnostics would argue that these are precisely the parts that contain hidden insight. The black sun teaches us that the soul's power grows when we embrace what we have been taught to reject. The shadow is not our enemy, It is the hidden doorway to knowledge, intuition, and spiritual liberation. Every fear, every repressed impulse, every dark feeling is an opportunity to awaken the dormant sun within. Ask yourself now, how many truths have you been told to ignore or fear? How many aspects of your own soul have been labeled dangerous, when in reality, they might contain the keys to your awakening? The Gnostics believed that discovering the black sun requires courage, reflection, and the willingness to see what others cannot. Those who pursue it join a lineage of seekers who refuse to accept imposed limitations, daring to uncover the divine hidden in shadow. The black sun is not merely a poetic metaphor. In Gnostic thought, it is a living symbol of the hidden power within the soul. To understand it, we must first realize that the Gnostics did not separate light and darkness in the simplistic moral terms common to mainstream religions. Darkness was not evil. Instead, it represented the unseen, the unacknowledged, the potential waiting to be discovered. The black sun is the central emblem of this principle, a paradoxical light that can only be perceived when one turns inward and faces the soul in its entirety, including its fears, desires, and shadows. Ancient texts describe this inner sun as a point of radiance within the human heart, often eclipsed by ignorance, attachment, or societal conditioning. The Gospel of Philip mentions the concept of inner illumination, a secret fire hidden within the self, a spark that can awaken the soul to truths invisible to the ordinary mind. Similarly, the Apocryphon of John portrays the cosmos as layered with veils, where divine knowledge is trapped beneath the illusions of the material world. The black sun, then, is both the key and the lens through which these veils can be pierced, allowing the seeker to see beyond conventional reality. Symbols associated with the black sun appear in Gnostic art, alchemical illustrations, and even in secret mystical rites. A solar eclipse, for example, was not seen as a cosmic danger, but as a sacred moment of revelation, the temporary hiding of the apparent light to highlight the hidden. Shadows, labyrinths, and underground imagery all serve as metaphors for the inward journey. Each symbol encourages the seeker to confront discomfort, uncertainty, and the parts of themselves that have been denied or judged. By doing so, one can transform fear into wisdom, suffering into insight, and darkness into the very foundation of awakening. The Gnostics also taught that the black sun is intimately connected to the concept of gnosis knowledge of the divine within. Unlike knowledge obtained from books, rituals, or dogmas, gnosis is experiential. It is a knowing that arises when the soul encounters its own hidden potential and integrates it consciously. The black sun embodies this integration, the recognition that the shadow is not to be rejected, but embraced and understood. It is the energy that powers inner sight, intuition, and the ability to perceive the underlying truth behind appearances. In modern terms, it is the alchemy of consciousness, the transformation of what is hidden into living wisdom. Furthermore, the black sun represents the liberation of the individual from the constraints of the demiurge, the controlling forces of the material world that impose fear, shame, and limitation. By connecting to this inner sun, the seeker steps out of the imposed narratives of morality and conformity and begins to experience life with clarity, courage, and self-determination. The Gnostics warned that not everyone would be ready to confront this power. The unprepared might misinterpret it as darkness, danger, or evil, failing to recognize it as the hidden light of their own soul. Reflect for a moment. What parts of yourself have you labeled wrong, dark, or unworthy? Could they instead be the source of strength and insight, the spark that connects you to hidden truths beyond conventional understanding? The black sun is an invitation, a challenge, and a promise. It calls each seeker to look within, to confront inner shadows with courage, and to discover a hidden radiance that has the power to transform not only your understanding of yourself, but your perception of the world. By understanding the symbols and teachings of the black sun, you begin to see that darkness is not a threat, it is the gateway. Each shadow embraced, each fear understood, and each hidden aspect of the soul awakened brings you closer to the secret power that the Gnostics revered and guarded for centuries. The black sun is not simply a concept to be admired from afar. It is a revelation that challenges everything the world has taught us about the soul, morality, and the path to awakening. The Gnostics understood that the deepest truth about human existence is hidden within, and that the forces of the material world, both visible and invisible, have worked for centuries to obscure it. Yet, buried in the texts, symbols, and teachings passed down through secret lineages, is a profound insight. The soul's inner darkness is the source of its ultimate power. Many seekers throughout history have glimpsed this truth without fully understanding it. Alchemists, mystics, and visionary philosophers spoke of a hidden sun within the human heart, a radiance concealed in shadow, capable of transforming fear into wisdom and chaos into insight. The black sun is the same principle, now revealed more clearly through Gnostic interpretation. It represents the unacknowledged forces of the psyche, the instincts, the intuition, and the suppressed potential that mainstream teachings have long labeled as dangerous or immoral. In truth, these forces are not to be feared. They are the raw materials from which knowledge, spiritual strength, and inner freedom are forged. The turning point in understanding the black sun comes when we recognize the deliberate distortions imposed by human institutions. The church, for example, framed inner darkness as sin. Social norms framed introspection as selfishness or weakness. The world framed nonconformity as rebellion. These layers of suppression created a barrier between humans and their own inner power. The Gnostics sought to dismantle this barrier, teaching that to awaken the soul, one must not reject what is feared or hidden, but instead embrace it with awareness. By facing the shadow, the thoughts, feelings, and impulses we have been told to deny, we engage in a transformative alchemy, turning hidden energy into conscious understanding. The black sun is a paradox. It shines precisely when we face what we have been taught to avoid. Gnostic texts often use imagery of eclipses, darkness at noon, and underground fire to illustrate this principle. The light that is feared is not extinguished. It is veiled, waiting for recognition. Once acknowledged, it illuminates not only the individual's inner landscape, but also their perception of the outer world. Knowledge, self-awareness, and spiritual power emerge from what was once hidden, demonstrating that the line between darkness and light is not moral but experiential. Even today, the relevance of this forgotten revelation cannot be overstated. In our modern lives, we are conditioned to seek constant comfort, to avoid discomfort and introspection, to judge ourselves harshly for emotions we cannot explain. The Gnostics' teaching of the black sun challenges this conditioning. They reveal that personal liberation and spiritual awakening require courage, the courage to look inward, to confront uncomfortable truths, and to integrate them into conscious awareness. The shadow is not a prison. It is the forge of insight. The darker the inner terrain we are willing to explore, the brighter the hidden sun shines within. Ask yourself now, which parts of your own inner world have you ignored, denied, or feared? Could they hold the key to your deepest understanding and spiritual power? The black sun is a call to see what others have been blind to for centuries. The hidden radiance of the soul is inseparable from its shadows. By embracing these truths, by acknowledging and integrating the darkness within, we awaken a power the world has long tried to hide, a force capable of transforming not only our understanding of ourselves, but the very way we engage with life and the universe around us. The Gnostics knew that few would dare this inner journey, but those who do become torchbearers of hidden knowledge, the keepers of a sacred wisdom that has survived through secrecy, persecution, and time itself. The black sun is no longer just a symbol. It is a living invitation to awaken the soul, to confront fear, and to discover the untapped power that has always been within. The black sun is not merely an ancient symbol or abstract concept. It is a living force that continues to influence every person's life, even if unconsciously. The Gnostics understood that the soul's hidden energy, the very essence of the black sun, is present in each of us, waiting for recognition. Yet for centuries, humanity has been conditioned to ignore, suppress, or misinterpret it. Fear, guilt, and societal expectations obscure this inner sun, leaving most people unaware of the immense power and wisdom they carry within. But when we begin to see the black sun as a force for awakening, everything changes. In practical terms, the black sun represents the energy of transformation. Every hidden desire, every suppressed emotion, every shadow aspect of the self can be transformed into insight, clarity, and strength. The Gnostics believed that by facing these aspects with awareness rather than denial, we activate the inner sun and connect to the divine spark within. This is not mystical fantasy. It is a principle of inner alchemy that aligns closely with modern discoveries in psychology and consciousness studies. Emotional repression, unresolved trauma, and self-judgment are shadows in the soul, and acknowledging them allows us to access their latent energy, turning fear into courage, confusion into clarity, and limitation into possibility. Consider this. In your daily life, how often have you ignored or judged your own thoughts and feelings? How often have you hidden your curiosity, creativity, or spiritual impulses for fear of being misunderstood or condemned? The Gnostics' teaching of the black sun suggests that these very elements are the fuel for awakening. The more we deny them, the further we move from our true potential. But the moment we begin to confront them consciously, we awaken the latent power that has been present all along. The shadow becomes the source of insight, and the darkness reveals itself as the seed of illumination. This knowledge also challenges the conventional understanding of morality and spirituality. While society often frames certain impulses as wrong or dangerous, the Gnostics saw them differently. They understood that the soul's growth depends on confronting all aspects of itself, integrating experiences, and embracing hidden truths. The black sun teaches that spiritual power is not about perfection or avoidance of darkness, but about awareness, integration, and transformation. By embracing this, we reclaim a personal authority over our lives, no longer bound by fear, judgment, or imposed limitations. Even in relationships, career decisions, or moments of personal crisis, the black sun's principle is applicable. When we recognize the hidden forces within ourselves, we become more attuned to intuition, more resilient in the face of challenges, and more capable of perceiving truths that others miss. The Gnostics believed that those who awaken the black sun are not only transformed personally, they become beacons of wisdom in the world, capable of seeing beyond the illusions created by systems, institutions, and superficial appearances. Reflect now. What shadows in your own life could you confront today? What hidden strength could you awaken by facing the parts of yourself that have been ignored or denied? The black sun invites you to step into this inner work, to see the divine not only in light, but also in darkness, and to discover the secret power that the Gnostics revered for centuries. By acknowledging and integrating your hidden self, you begin a journey of profound transformation, one that aligns your consciousness with truths that have been buried for millennia, and awakens the soul to a radiance that is uniquely your own. Now we arrive at the moment the Gnostics considered the most sacred, the recognition and awakening of the black sun within the soul. This is not a symbolic exercise, it is an experiential truth, a revelation that transcends ordinary understanding. For centuries, humanity has been conditioned to fear its own depth, to equate inner darkness with weakness or sin. But the black sun is proof that true power is hidden precisely in the places we have been told to avoid. It is the secret radiance of the soul, veiled in shadow, waiting for those who dare to seek it to claim its transformative energy. The mystical journey begins with awareness. The Gnostics taught that no external authority can awaken the black sun. It is an inner process, a confrontation with oneself. One must look deeply at the aspects of the soul that have been denied, judged, or suppressed. This includes not only fears and doubts, but also desires, instincts, and impulses society deems unacceptable. Each hidden layer is a threshold. The more you confront, the closer you come to illumination. The black sun shines brightest not in comfort, but in the courageous act of facing what has long been concealed. Ancient Gnostic texts describe the black sun as the source of divine gnosis, a knowledge that penetrates all illusion. The Apocryphon of John and other secret writings suggest that when the inner sun is recognized, the soul experiences an awakening that reveals the hidden structure of reality. One perceives the demiurge not as an external tyrant, but as the embodiment of illusions within oneself. The forces that once seemed to control or limit you are revealed as projections of your unintegrated self. In embracing the black sun, the seeker attains clarity that the ordinary mind cannot reach, discovering the sacred power that has always been present beneath layers of fear and ignorance. The black sun also embodies a paradox. Its light is invisible to those unprepared, yet it illuminates the inner landscape completely once recognized. It represents the truth that growth, enlightenment, and liberation arise from integrating darkness, not denying it. Every shadow, every suppressed memory, every unacknowledged impulse is transformed into wisdom and power. The Gnostics called this process inner alchemy, and it is the reason the black sun remained a guarded secret for centuries. Those who awaken it become vessels of insight, capable of perceiving hidden truths, understanding the forces shaping their lives, and moving beyond the illusions imposed by society or religious dogma. Even in the present day, this awakening is accessible. When you consciously confront your fears, your insecurities, and your inner conflicts, you are engaging with the black sun. You are participating in the same ancient process the Gnostics revered, transforming the hidden, misunderstood, or feared into a source of illumination and spiritual power. This is not merely an intellectual exercise, it is a lived experience, a personal revelation that reshapes the way you understand yourself and the world around you. Ask yourself now, are you ready to see what others have ignored for centuries? Are you willing to face your inner shadows and claim the secret power that has always been within you? The black sun invites you to a higher understanding, a deeper perception, and an awakening that transcends fear and limitation. It is the ultimate truth the Gnostics sought to reveal, the sacred fire hidden in shadow, and the key to unlocking the soul's fullest potential. The revelation is clear. Darkness is not the enemy. It is the doorway. The shadow is not a limitation. It is the source of power. The black sun is the secret your soul has always carried, the spark of gnosis waiting for recognition, and the force that transforms ordinary life into profound insight. The journey is challenging, yes, but it is also the path to the most extraordinary awakening imaginable, a connection to the hidden power that the world has tried to suppress for millennia. The journey we have undertaken together has revealed a truth that the world has long tried to bury. The black sun is not a symbol of evil, but the secret power of the soul itself. For centuries, humanity has been told to fear its own depths, to suppress its instincts, and to view the unknown within as dangerous. Yet the Gnostics saw this inner darkness differently. They recognized that the hidden aspects of our being are not obstacles. They are the very source of our insight, creativity, and spiritual awakening. The black sun is the spark that, once recognized, illuminates the soul from within, showing that the path to divine knowledge passes through shadows as much as through light. This revelation is not theoretical. It is experiential. When you confront the hidden, repressed, or feared parts of yourself, you are engaging in the same sacred practice that the Gnostics called gnosis. You are awakening the black sun, every fear transformed into understanding, every hidden impulse embraced rather than denied, every unacknowledged aspect integrated, becomes fuel for your spiritual growth. In doing so, you reclaim your personal power and reconnect with the divine spark within, a spark that society, orthodox teachings, and the structures of the material world have tried to obscure. Now, more than ever, these teachings are relevant. In a world of distractions, superficial norms, and imposed limitations, discovering the black sun is an act of courage and self-liberation. It requires honesty with oneself, willingness to face the uncomfortable, and a commitment to personal awakening. Yet the reward is immense: clarity, intuition, inner strength, and an understanding of reality beyond appearances. The Black Sun shows that enlightenment is not about avoiding darkness, but about integrating it. It reveals that the soul's hidden power has always been present, waiting for recognition, and capable of transforming ordinary life into profound spiritual insight. By engaging with this knowledge, you are not only awakening your own soul, you are participating in a centuries-old tradition of seekers who refuse to accept imposed limitations. This is why it is so important to continue exploring, questioning, and sharing these insights. When you comment, like, and subscribe, you are doing more than supporting a channel. You are helping keep these hidden truths alive, joining a community of seekers who are committed to uncovering knowledge that has been deliberately obscured for millennia. Your participation is a declaration that the journey of discovery does not end with this video, that the pursuit of Gnosis is ongoing, and that the Black Sun's wisdom can touch many lives, starting with your own. As you reflect on this teaching, ask yourself, how much of your own inner world have you ignored or feared? Which parts of your soul are calling to be recognized and embraced? Could the Black Sun within you be waiting for the very moment you dare to face it? And beyond your personal awakening, what might humanity discover if more people embraced the hidden power within? If the truths that were suppressed for centuries were once again remembered? The search for understanding is not complete. The Gnostics knew that knowledge is a living, evolving journey, not a static truth. Each step toward awakening the Black Sun brings you closer to your own divine potential, to wisdom that transcends fear and illusion, and to a life imbued with insight and clarity. Remember that this is not just a lesson of history, it is a call to action, a sacred invitation to explore, awaken, and transform. A Black Sun is within you, waiting for recognition, ready to illuminate the path to knowledge that only the initiated have glimpsed for centuries.